Hi guys, welcome to the first class of online batch. We are going to talk about literary criticism. You must have watched my live orientation session where I talked about this thing that we will be dealing with literary criticism portion to compete the other students in June exam. So when we talk about literary criticism, as you can see, this is the first class. Today's topic is what is literary criticism and how to study it. Now, as it is a classroom lecture, I'm keeping myself slow so that you can understand in an easy way. Many of you are going to read criticism for the first time. So first of all, take pen and paper and write down the definitions of criticism. Now, if I go for a mugged up definition of criticism, that criticism is this and that, you won't be able to understand. So first thing that you have to understand is that criticism, literary criticism, is not to criticize someone. Sometimes people think that there was a group of writers that used to criticize others and they are the literary critics. No, not like that. If we talk about the exact definition of criticism, they are simply talking about some basic things. When a reader who has literary skills, he closely examines a text, evaluates it critically, and focuses on the significance of the work from various point of views. He goes for the cross-examination of the text in relation with various other texts and comes out with his own opinions. That's called literary criticism. In literary criticism, one should not be biased. That we have seen, like Alexander Pope, Samuel Johnson, they used to be biased. A true critic is the one who never gets biased and comes with the true judgment. So the basic understanding of literary criticism is to read, understand, examine, evaluate any piece of literary work and focus on the significance of that work in future, in present, and moreover, the correlation of that text with other texts. That's called literary criticism. You can write it like this. Now, how many types of criticism are there? Most of the students who are studying this, they make a mistake. They don't even know that from which writer to which writer they should read. So normally what they do is that they read all the writers together. Some of these writers are the part of criticism, some of them are from classical criticism, some of them are from romantic criticism. So here, first of all, simply understand this thing that there are two different types of criticism. The first one, legislative criticism. Legislative criticism, many of you must be thinking, what is this kind of criticism? It's easy, not tough. Legislative criticism is also known as classical tradition criticism. Classical tradition. Now, if you're getting confused, don't worry. Legislative means people who make rules. Remember, P.B. Shelley said, poets are unacknowledged legislators of the world. Yes, that kind of line. Simply, the critics who are the first critics, they are the first people who came with ideas. They are the first people who came with rules and regulations. The first teachers like Plato, Aristotle. In fact, Socrates is also a critic, but mostly studied in politics. Plato, then Aristotle, then Horace. Sometimes people say Longinus. Yes, Longinus is also a classical critic, but also a liberal critic. Then we have some other writers from Anglo-classical criticism. We have Ben Jonson, John Dryden, Alexander Pope, Matthew Arnold, and then T.S. Eliot. T.S. Eliot, he himself said that I'm classicist in literature, royalist in politics, and Anglo-Catholic in religion. That's a statement by T.S. Eliot. Note it down. Now, legislative criticism means the first people, the first critics. So here we will study Plato, his theory of mimesis, his cave theory, his ideas on women, why Plato is called the first feminist, which musical instrument was banned by him, and in future, what was the connection between Plato, Stephen Gosson, and Philip Sidney. We'll go for him, we'll complete him, then we will go for Aristotle. Aristotle has his own value. He has been called father of criticism by Dryden. While Dryden has been called father of English criticism by Samuel Johnson. We will be studying these people here. We will go for all the writers who are following classical criticism. When I will teach you these authors. I will also teach you that if the exam paper has questions from these authors, what's the most important point that you must remember? If you have that point in your brain, you will be able to qualify, because these writers, even if they are all different writers, they have one similarity, and they're having that similarity, which is called the classical tradition. Then comes liberal school of criticism, the writers who did not belong to the rules regulation group. They used to feel that criticism is something, writing is something that's the matter of heart. There should be no rules, no regulations. Longinus is the first writer who is the part of this group. And then here we have some other writers, starting with William Blake. 90% people don't know. They go for Wordsworth and Coleridge directly. Even William Blake, his idea on Milton, his idea on religion, his idea on literary criticism are very important, and mostly people don't know that. These kind of students pay it in the exam. They have to pay it for this thing. So don't be make a mistake. We will be going for Blake. Then we'll go for Wordsworth, Coleridge, Keats' negative capability, P.B. Shelley's defense of poetry. This was also the last question in second shift, where they were talking about Thomas Love Peacock's attack on poetry, 4 aces of poetry. When we'll go for this kind of criticism, in classicals we'll also study the progress of the poesy with the reference of Thomas Gray. Most of the people avoid it, but we are going to teach each and everything here so that it will be easy for you. I hope you have taken the notes. If not, please take the screenshots. Now, when we talk about criticism, 80% portion of criticism will be covered with these things. But when you prepare for NET level exam, national level exam, the toppers of University of Delhi, JNU, Jamia, BHU, Punjab University, these people appear. So can we just be ready with literary criticism reading only legislative and liberals? No. There are certain other branches of criticism. When I was in the University of Delhi, we used to talk about them. Moral criticism, René Descartes, Cicero, the writers who came with those moral kind of criticism, also known as the dramatic constructions. It's not even available in proper books. For these things, you will have to go for the scholarly level text or the paper presentations. So we'll go for this time moral criticism. 2 to 3 exclusive lectures will be based on this thing. That is something for JRF. It is not required for NET. For NET, the first 80% criticism is fine. For JRF, we have to go for moral criticism, sociological approach, biographical criticism. Do you know that the biographical criticism was actually started by Samuel Johnson in Lives of Poets? We'll go for these two things. Then historical criticism, the history criticism associated. How many of you know about Louis Althusser, ideology and ideological state apparatus? We're going to talk about this thing. There are concepts like this. The idea of great chain of being, a repeated question of NET exam comes from here. Then comes genre criticism. Yes, in genre criticism, there are different types of criticisms. Phenomenological reduction concept, travel theory concept, Dadaism, Vorticism, Cubism, Imagism. We will be doing all these things here. Then archetypal criticism, also called the myth criticism. How the myths, how the archetypal works and the social understanding of those meanings, those symbols work in a literary text. How the sun has a connection with knowledge, how the darkness has connection with evil. We'll be talking about these things in this particular theory. We will be going for J.Z. Fraser, we'll go for Thomas Campbell, we will be going for Northrop Frye, C.S. Jung and other theories for this thing. Then comes cultural criticism. Don't mix it with cultural theory. Theories are different part. These are the cultural opinions. We will be talking about these things. We'll go for special references of Voltaire, Rousseau and Hegel. Along with this, we'll also go for the thinkers like John Locke. Then eco-criticism. Most of the people, they go to the exam without reading Vandana Shiva, Sujata Bhatt and other writers. We have to go for O.P. Nambiar and these kind of writers. Friends, this is the latest thing. ये latest topics हैं. Most of the teachers don't teach it. These things are not available in the books and sometimes they are not even asked in exams. So if it is asked one time, be ready for the second time. The secret behind my multiple net, my students multiple net, is that we do not leave these portions. Ontological criticism, I bet even the teachers don't know it. If you have taken classes from anywhere, I'm sure they have not even talked about this thing. Ontological criticism is based on text evaluation. Something is very important. And then comes travel plus literature, travel-lature. These are the topics that we are going to cover. This is actually the orientation and introduction class of literary criticism for my online students, but we are also going to make it public so that there are some students, they were wondering how I am going to teach. What will be my method? So this will be the thing, the pen, the teacher, the board, and this time you're going to get all these things through the camera. In front of you, you can watch it. You can also enjoy by joining us live. Be the part of the batch. Many of you have missed it because of last date. See, it's simple. 8,500 is the fees. This is the phone number. I hope it's visible clearly. Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm. And once you have paid this thing, then see what are you going to get. Complete syllabus for June exam. If the exam is conducted in June or the first week of July, we will be completing syllabus through videos, through audio podcasts and all. And along with that, July to December free. You're going to get all these things together. So if you're watching it and you're not able to understand how we are going to proceed, this is the way we are going to proceed. Because after this video ends, I'm going to start with legislative criticism. Those videos will be private videos only for online students. So don't miss it, because if you join late, you won't be able to cover up. The moment I complete all these kind of literary criticisms, we'll go for literary theory. Just think about this thing. When you go to the exam, did you also feel like this, that where are these questions from? I am unaware about these questions. I don't know these questions. So don't curse yourself. Now you should know how to read these things. I will teach you all these things. So if you're ready for the June attempt, this is the simple process in front of you. No need to make calls. No need to have discussion. This is clearly things in front of you. The way I'm going to teach you, it's already clear, and think about it. Have you heard those topics? No? Then this is the benefit. I have taught in University of Delhi. I'm going to bring my standard for you all. So don't miss it. And this is the thing related to the joinings. Please take a screenshot of this particular thing. And all the online students, take notes, because this is also an introductory lecture for you. Now we are going to bring the writers. So let's start.